Doctor Who has been blessed with a number of successful and not-so-successful spin-off series over the years. From 1981's K9 and Company to 2016's Class, the Whoniverse has been expanding its characters and worlds, as everyone from Captain Jack Harkness to Sarah Jane Smith get their own adventures. But what you may not know is that there are a number of Doctor Who spin-offs which didn't come to fruition. Here are the 7 most interesting, in chronological order, and the stories as to why they didn't make it to screen. Advertisement continue reading below. 1. The son of Doctor Who. Copyright BBC. William Hartnell, the original Doctor, once revealed that he himself had an idea for a Doctor Who spin-off series. The actor claimed that in late 1964, just a year after the show began, he came up with the notion, explaining, "I thought we might extend the series and I suggested giving the Doctor a son and calling the program The Son of Doctor Who." Now, this does depend slightly on your interpretation of what he says here, but extended the series and program could well be taken to mean a whole new series. Anyway, Hartnell's idea was for the Doctor to have a wicked son, and not in the sense that 80s companion Ace might use that word, who would look just like his dad, meaning dual roles for Hartnell when they met, a wily old move from Hartnell. The idea, alas, was not taken up by the BBC, leaving the actor to comment, "I still think it would have worked and been exciting to children." Point 2. The Daleks. Copyright BBC Pictures. In late November 1966, almost 3 years after their first appearance, Dalek creator Terry Nation pitched a spin-off series starring his intergalactic Pepper Potts to the BBC. Negotiations began and a pilot script, The Destroyers, was written. Advertisement continue reading below. Yet while cameras wheeled into action, but the BBC pulled out, leaving Nation to shop the idea around elsewhere, including US channel ABC. In 2010, with it in stasis, Big Finish produced an audio play of it. Point 3. K9 and Company. Who wouldn't wanted to have watched that title sequence every week? Granted, this one did make it to television, back in 1981, although only briefly. The pilot episode, A Girl's Best Friend, saw the return of both hugely popular companions Sarah Jane Smith, Elizabeth Sladen reprising her role in K9 though, and one for pedants, this was actually K9 Mark III, the first 2 having left with Leela and then Romana. Despite strong viewing figures of more than 8 million, well above average for the time, Tom Baker's final season averaged under 6 million per episode. K9 didn't go for walkies. The Tin Dog eventually got his own full TV series in 2010, called K9, an Australian production that lasted just 1 season, also quite terrible, and then in 2015 a K9 movie was announced. Slated for release in 2017, Time Quake, featuring Doctor Who villain Omega, is yet to start filming. Point 4. 1990s animated series. Canadian animation house Nelvana came close to producing a Doctor Who cartoon in the 90s after the show's cancellation. Founded in 1971, the company has produced a varied collection of animated shows such as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Star Wars spin-offs, Droids and Ewoks, Mike the Knight, and the vastly underrated Care Bears movie. They were approached by the BBC in 1990, shortly after the final episode of the classic era had aired, and promptly produced concept art and a number of scripts. Unfortunately, the project came to a halt, without even a pilot being produced. A shame, as the concept art was particularly bold and interesting. Point 5. The Young Doctor Who Chronicles. Copyright Timger. This didn't get past the very early stages, but CBBC expressed an interest originally in a series looking at the Time Lord in his early years. Like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, but with more cravats. However, then showrunner Russell T Davies wasn't keen. He said, "Somehow, the idea of a 14-year-old doctor, on Gallifrey inventing sonic screwdrivers, takes away from the mystery and intrigue of who he is and where he came from." So that was that, and the project was dropped. From these seeds, though, grew Davies' own suggestion, The Sarah Jane Adventures, which ran for a brilliant 5 series. Point 6. Rose Tyler. Earth Defense. Copyright BBC. According to Russell T Davies, he himself cancelled this spin-off at the last minute. RTD told Doctor Who magazine in 2006 it was actually commissioned by the controller of BBC One and budgeted, before the writer decided it was a spin-off too far and called it off after watching Billie Piper film her final scenes in the show with David Tennant. "It spoils Doctor Who if we can see Rose, if we see as a concrete fact that her life continues to be as exciting without the Doctor," he said. Tyler left at the end of Series 2 in a heartbreaking finale which saw the companion stuck in a parallel Earth. The title of the show was taken from this scene where the Time Lord gushed, "Rose Tyler, Defender of the Earth." Although Billie had not been contracted to star, Davies had mentioned it to the actress. Davies had planned to do a bank holiday special each year, presumably set on the parallel Earth, known as Pete's World. 7. 2010's animated series. Very little is known about this project other than what we've seen from the fantastic artwork proposals from Thundercats 2011 art director Dan Norton. The artist posted his pitches on DeviantArt explaining, well, what was close to happening didn't. Since the BBC eventually passed on, according to Norton, all the Doctor's regenerations would have featured, and you can see his artwork for the various Doctors here. Want up to the minute entertainment news and features? Just hit like on our Digital Spy Facebook page and follow on our @DigitalSpy Twitter account and you're all set.